a brand should be for everyone working at the company, not just like, oh, it's only for the designers to hold on to the logos and the colors.
We have a logo, we have a message, we have a slogan. Done. And it's like, no, in its applications, you're going to continue to learn.
Isn't just a rebrand just a logo refresh? Today, I'm very excited to have Susie Alfaro, our content strategist, with us, as well as Kate Payton, one of our senior graphic designers. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what goes into a rebrand. But to start everything off, tell us about a brand that you absolutely love and why.
Mine's quite nerdy, but I love WWE branding. Every wrestler has its own brand. They have their gear that tells a story, their music, their entrance, and it can change as that person grows. And I absolutely love it. And I'll talk about just one, Rhea Ripley, one of my favorite wrestlers. Google her if you haven't. She's fantastic. And I absolutely love how her gear tells a story. It's all really spiky and like it has like her signature color of purple in it, and like her makeup is well done where she's like black lipstick and she'll just go crazy with like masks. And I just,
Yeah.
I've loved it. And now I've like incorporated it into my own fashion, like hence the jacket and the sparkle
See some
tights.
sparkles, yeah.
I just love it. It's just, it's so fun. So
Very
it's like
cool.
best of both worlds.
So, Susie, same question. A brand that you absolutely love and why?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm going also very nerdy, but let's narrow down to clothes and fashion, was Elizabeth Suzanne. And Elizabeth Suzanne is this like really authentic, really human brand that has evolved throughout, but I just love how their story is so consistent. It's so authentic. It's just like so human throughout. She talks about, obviously the sustainability elements, the ethical elements of fashion, where clothes come from, how they're made, how long they're supposed to last, all of these different things are just this like warm hug.
Very cool. So let's talk about what sparked the rebrand for the two of you. What sparked the rebrand of Citizen and what we're going through now, and like what was senior leadership's role in that, and then what were you able to take on individually? Tell me everything.
I mean, for me, I love strategy. I think content is strategy, and I love storytelling, right? Like humans are built around stories. We're built to absorb stories. And I think that the Citizen story is so unique. Our approach is so authentic and so different. So for me, I knew it was coming and I just kind of started campaigning. And I was like, I want to be a part of that because I want to tell that story and I want to kind of like dig deeper into it. And that was kind of like the spark into it. And then we had a big session with the SLT, the senior leadership team, and we just asked a bunch of questions. We got really curious. So we had Post-its on the wall and just kind of like dug deeper and like double clicked on being like, okay, what's good? What isn't? Like, who are we really? There was clearly a fit thing there. Just kind of like, hey, we've outgrown our brand. How do we tell it authentically for who we are? And then I just kind of like asked a bunch of questions, and for like a month, I was just like asking everybody questions, interviewing people, like doing that kind of thing. And just being like, okay, cool. What is authentic? Like what is consistent? What's coming up? What are some pain points that we need to address or questions that we need to ask? And how do you kind of like piece that together and like bring it back, right? Because first you kind of like go big and then you're like, okay, cool. Let's bring it down.
Right.
Like what's the story?
Right.
Because for me, that's always the question. Like, what's the story?
I love that.
So,
So Kate, speaking of stories, tell us your story. Tell us what this rebrand was for you. Tell us the map. And I imagine the two of you were lockstep in the majority of these components. But with that being said, what didn't click with the old brand? And what do you think clicks now with the new brand? What was missing?
Oh, that is a good question. I really didn't quite connect with some of the colors. There were colors like the yellow that just, it didn't click. And how we use them, they weren't as accessible. And so I really wanted to make sure that the brand that we build is accessible. And then looking at our logo, it's all caps. and it's bold.
It's yelling at
It's
you.
yelling at you,
Yeah,
and I
it's
feel like
yelling.
every time, like, we even type it out, we're just yelling
I know.
mid-sentence.
It's so funny that you say that. When I'm speaking with a prospect or whatever else at a conference, I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me just send you my information, Joe at Citizen." It's like, sorry, at the text is yelling at you, but yeah. So no, I love that.
The main thing was the colors. Citizen's colors are so bold and so eye-catching that I feel like if we changed all of the colors, we wouldn't be recognizable to our current clients, and that's just that's not a smart rebrand. If your clients can't recognize you, it's not gonna be strong. And so I had a little bit of a disconnect. I think it made a lot of sense when we first started because we were just kinda, like, getting started in the industry, and we just didn't know where Citizen was gonna go.
Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
didn't know our
we didn't
brand
know
yet.
anything.
Yeah,
And so I think it was just, like, a really nice travel to where we went, and
I
I
agree.
think that where we landed makes so much more sense of who we are and who we want to be in the future.
Yeah, and of course, this is no discredit to any of the workers that or any of the art that was created before, but the reality is that the way that I look at it, and I assume maybe that the two of you look at it the same way. Um, it almost felt like with the rebrand, we've graduated. We have shown that we understand the industry. We know where the organization, where the industry is going. We
Mhm,
also know where our strengths and our unique sales propositions, all of that exists as a um, value focused organization that is built on understanding the brands of the organizations that we support and really diving into what the story is behind the organizations. And to best understand the story of the organizations we support, we have to first understand our own story, right? Um, okay, so Susie, same question I'm going to direct to you, which is what needed to remain the same and what needed to change from a content perspective?
That's a good question. And that's always something that you're kind of like balancing, right? I think one of the things that's one of the main things that you're always asking when you're doing a rebrand is like, okay, what's good? Like what is working and not just kind of tossing things out the window for the fun of it. Like Kate said, like we wanted to still be recognizable. We didn't want to like show up and be like, haha, new me. And it's like kind of like, wait, we're trying to build trust,
Right,
right? Sometimes a rebrand feels like an entire new thing. For us, it kind of felt like coming home.
right,
So, there was that balance of our old brand, um, we just outgrew it, right? It
yeah,
talked a lot about us being the new kids on the block and just kind of being like, scrappy and figuring it out and like learning. And Citizen is really a leader in the industry.
right,
And that had to come across. So it was that attainable luxury. But I think one thing that we had always been very shy of talking about was our people, and that was one of the funnest conversations because actually we were talking and like Jay was talking about, I keep thinking our people are our biggest asset, but like that feels kind of superficial to say. Right. And I was like, no, actually, that is it. And so, like, when we started to kind of like double click, and I was like, okay, cool, hang on. Cause it kept coming up, right? Everybody kept being like, our people are incredible. We really care. We're really empathetic. We understand the journey, not only of our clients, but of the, final audiences of potential residents of the families. So we were like, okay, cool. Our people are amazing. But it always sounds weird when you're like, oh, I love the people I work with. Sure. Hopefully that's the case for most people. So how do you communicate that? How do you communicate that balance between like, yes, we're bringing expert results, we're, kicking ass in marketing, but also our people and that human element really stand out. And I think that was one of the biggest challenges of like, how do we communicate that in a way that is authentic and isn't just kind of like marketing fluff, right? How does that story pan out? And for me, we had just gone through a massive client first training, and it was like, weeks of modules and examples and like really making sure that everybody in the agency was aligned with how to provide an exceptional experience. And what does that mean? And that's empathy and it's emotional intelligence and it's proper communication or like conscious communication. It's all these different elements. And so that was the thing that kind of like clicked for me. And I was like, wait, this really is our differentiator. And this is how we communicate it. It's not a coincidence. It is a designed framework. We hire, we train, we do excellent work. And also, our people are fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say that.
Well, and I think for so long we've been focused on, look, the reality is that the reason that an organization stays with any agency is due to the level of service or the level of value that they receive. We've done a great job of those two elements. And I think what you're doing here is saying, yeah, those are fundamentals. And we've gotten really, really good at the service level that we bring and the value that we bring.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, we're now white glove.
Yeah.
We're taking that and making it even more exceptional. And now we're 35 people who are well established and kicking ass and taking names. And you know, now we're the best, one of the best agencies in the space, right? And so no, I loved all of that. That's great.
Yeah. If I could add to
Yeah,
that.
please do. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that like really I was trying to like understand, right, that like the SLT and like a lot of people were talking about, especially people who go to conferences, where like, hey, people just want to like come and hang out at our booth.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so weird, right? Because like often you're like at a conference, you're like, oh, I have to like hit some spots or like say hi to people or like whatever. But like that point is kind of like from the get-go, people are like, hey, we want to hang out. What are you guys doing? And so again, I just think that that's the sort of thing that like maybe at the beginning you can't say, right? When you're new in the block, you're just kind of like, I don't know, we're figuring it out. I'm very nice, but like, are you also good? And now we're like, hey, we are excellent at what we do.
Yeah.
And also, it's not a coincidence because the people that we have are what create that excellence.
Yeah. And to that point, it's not just the people internally, it's our clients as well. And so one of the elements within our organization is what we try to do is we bring all of our clients together for our annual think tank. We put them out on the citizen council so that they can all discuss amongst each other, and they build relationships with people utilizing our agency so that they can learn off of each other and they can help each other's organizations build and things like that. And that is a huge component of the way that our organization works, because it gives us more line of sight on what's happening in the industry, what's happening in individual communities, and what struggles people are facing and how we can support in those struggles, whether it be within marketing or not, whether it's, you know, recruitment problems or tech stack problems or what have you, they come to us for that advice. And so that's a huge value add. And I think that speaks to exactly what you're saying, which is we have grown so much over the last couple of years that we've moved from being a marketing agency only. We still do that, heads up. But a marketing agency to almost like a extension of their team in a consultative manner, which is so valuable. And yeah, I love that. So Susie, what challenges come up the most during a rebrand?
Oh, that's a great question. So for me, a rebrand has, or like the very beginning of it has two questions. One, why are we doing it? And what's working, or like, what is our story?
Sure.
And how do you answer those? And those are kind of like, then that's where my like beautiful mind brain kicks in, and you start seeing keywords that continue to show up. Now, I've been in that situation when we do that exercise, and like I remember there were like 6 people on the table and every single person had a different answer. And then you're like, oh, okay, not only do we need to do a rebrand, we need to like internalize and understand who we are and what we do. So that for me is the first question, is just kind of digging deeper and being like, who are you? What's your story?
So can I challenge you?
Yeah.
What does Citizen do?
Citizen does senior living marketing that fills communities. That's it. Pretty
Very good.
simple.
Love it. Same answer?
Yeah.
Imagine if you were like, actually.
No, it's different.
Yeah, no, it's
I love
totally
that.
different.
So I'm gonna toss the question over to Kate here. Kate, I know the answer to this. Don't punch me in the face when I ask it. I know you're into like WWE, and I'm not gonna. So isn't just a rebrand just a logo refresh?
I might have to do some sweet chin music.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just a logo.
Oh, okay.
It's never just a logo.
Okay.
A rebrand and a brand in general is how you make the audience feel, how your company feels on the inside, and how you represent that visually, whether it's in your logo, it's in your fonts, it's in your colors, it's in the spacing, it's in layout, how it represents on merch, how everything even feels is a part of a brand, and even scents. Like we're thinking about what scents we put in a conference. Like all of that is it's all harmonious, and it creates the brand.
Yeah, it instantly makes you think of
Yeah.
that organization.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what do you look for when you're trying to build another organization's brand? What are those elements that you can really pull from um, that help you fully understand what that brand looks like?
I think seeing currently what works and what doesn't work. Um, every brand, in my opinion, needs to have a lot of versatility when it comes to their visuals. And so being able to see like where they want to see their brand really helps understand what it should be looking like. If it's going to be only on, say it's only on paper, you need to kind of design it to only be on paper.
Right.
Or do you need to have it in web form? Do you need to have it on merch? Do you need to have it on a window? All of those really come to mind when you have to like really play with it and how much you want to grow. And then, yeah, just looking at it, I always want to test out, do people really understand it? Does it click? Is it cohesive? Or does everyone kind of do their own thing with the brand? Oh, it's just a shade of pink. It doesn't matter what shade of pink. Or does people actually use the brand pink? Joe.
You're giving me anxiety. I have seen some things.
Oh, no. I've seen some things too
I've
where they're
seen
just
some
like, yeah,
things.
like that's our brand. And I'm like, you have 4 different logos and none of them are cohesive.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah,
good. We need to reevaluate that.
yeah.
Make it easy.
I love that.
Mhm.
Apart from the colors, apart from the logo and the taglines and all of those and the sense, everything that you just
Mhm.
spoke about, what needs to change internally with an organization to support a rebrand like this?
Your people gotta know about your brand, and it's so important for them to fully understand what the brand looks like and how they can connect with it and how they can express it out, and just being able to, like, ask anyone, even at Citizen, like, "What is Citizen?"
Mm.
And having everyone be on the same page, maybe word it a little bit different, but have the same meaning of it. We have to really just make sure everyone is on the same page of it, and it's not gate kept. A brand should be for everyone working at the company, not just like, "Oh, it's only for the designers to hold on to the logos and the colors."
So that brings me to my next question. And the two of you have been absolutely fantastic for our team working through this transition of the brand and
Mhm,
supporting what our visions are and honestly helping us identify what that vision is. Um, so I wanna I wanna ask you, like, what advice would you give to an organization that is considering a rebrand?
for me, is trust your creatives, trust the team that you are giving the reins to. You have put them in this role because they are the experts. Let them do their thing. And if you come in and you're like, "You know what? I don't want this, and I don't want this, and I don't want this." I'm like, "Oh, that closed a lot of doors." And we didn't have our doors closed when we did the Citizen Rebrand. Like, you literally like, "I trust you, Kate. Just do your thing."
I've worked with both of you for
Yeah.
years and yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, "Oh, I can try everything." And we gave some ideas that were really out of the box. And, like, they didn't work, but we know that they didn't work because you allowed us to try those.
Yeah.
And if you don't let your team try things or do any of that, it's not gonna work.
I love that, and I wanna speak to that a little bit because I think that that is why many organizations struggle to innovate in all avenues, is that people are too scared to fail.
Yeah.
And Not saying anything that you did was necessarily a failure, but
You
there were
gotta try
things
it.
that were better than others, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, but you wouldn't have known that if you hadn't explored that. And that's the biggest thing is like go in, explore, cuffs off, let's see how it goes, right?
Mhm.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Susie, to you, what would you recommend to an organization that is contemplating a rebrand?
Yeah, I mean, everything that Kate said, like, let us be curious. I think be authentic with yourself and understand that this can feel vulnerable. It might, you know, show things that you might want to change or that might not necessarily, like, you might not expect, but that's the whole point. You want to be authentic. Like a brand is like for me, it's it's like my personal brand. I am constantly learning how to show up authentically as myself. And that's something we do every day. And that's the same thing that a brand does.
Right.
But so be curious, be authentic, and then also have a strategy for its implementation. One thing that sometimes brands will forget or just kind of be like, great, okay, we have a brand, fantastic. We probably need like a new logo and like maybe a new website. It's like, well, no, there's a lot of stages that go in that sometimes you can um underestimate,
Sure.
right? So that's also like, okay, cool, how are we doing that internal campaign, educating your team about it? How are you empowering people? What are all the materials that need to be updated? What do all presentations look like? What do, like, I was literally talking this week about like
Every single piece of collateral.
what does documents written by Joe look like, right? Because I learned that this
There are
week, Joe. It's
so
very
many.
interesting.
Have you seen some of the documents I've written?
I've seen some of the documents you've written.
Yeah.
So it's also like, uh,
Love you, Joe.
no judgment,
Hey
no
man,
judgment.
I wore
Each
a lot
their
of
own.
hats for a long time. I need
It's
people
all
like
good.
you guys.
But it's also like, okay, cool. Where does this need to go? Because at the beginning, right, you think that a rebrand, you're like, fantastic. We have a logo, we have a message, we have a slogan. Done. And it's like, no, in its applications, you're going to continue to learn more. Like, oh, when we're doing this, this is how we need to show up. When we're planning a booth, this is how we want to message.
Right.
Again, what do internal documents look like? So in that functionality is like, okay, how do you need to continue to be open throughout and have a process to really grow from it? Because your brand is the beginning and all of the applications have to be consistent in order for that rebrand to be successful.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. So, Susie and Kate, thank you both for joining Cup of Joe. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for the official rollout. I imagine this is going to come out after the rollout.
I
We're
feel like that would
probably
make
in
sense.
tune with the rollout, something
Yeah.
along those lines. We'll let Natasha take care of all that.
Mhm.
Thank you for watching. Anybody who has any questions for our team, you can reach out to me directly. My phone number is 403-903-3703. And my email is joe@citizen55.com. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.
We did
Cool.
it.